Bye.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. How'd your son do, man?
Good, man. Good, man. He's balling, man. He's balling. I ain't even gonna lie. He's doing well, man.
That's what's up. Well, what's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 42 of Planet Xbox. And yes, it's not the banging, slamming Planet Xbox template. Discord was acting up, so we had to run back to Google Hangouts for a little bit. Hopefully, we have a clean show for you guys next week. But welcome to PX42. Can I please? We're gonna start with some introductions. First person we're gonna introduce today, we got a guest here. You're gonna have to tell them about yourself. I've been at work all day, so I couldn't do my research. I only had one interaction with you, and I met you during Luca's Scumcast, and I added you on Twitter immediately. But please, I'm gonna try to attempt to say your name out.
Just let him say it.
No, it's metaphorical.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. All right, introduce yourself. We want to know where they can find you. What do you do? What are your interests? And where did that name come from? Let's go.
Where you can find me on Twitter and Xbox Metaphoricals, same. What I do is I do IT, so I do like level 3 support for.
Nice.
What I like to do, game. That's pretty much what I do when I'm not at work. So I'm just here to make sure everything get represented correctly. That's why I was kind of on Luca's show to bring kind of like a more technical aspect to her podcast.
That's what's up. So you game? So you don't game on PlayStation?
Nah, I mean
you've missed. You have not yet experienced God of War.
Nah.
Oh wow.
To me, it's like, hey, it's a wonderful game and all that, and I ain't taking it from nobody enjoying themselves playing that game, but there's a reason why I don't own a PlayStation, so and I can afford one. I just choose not to have one.
True Xbot, man. You're aiming in the right direction on this show. Okay, awesome. But all right, so
might replace Jazz.
No. Metaphorical. Yeah.
Then you're bringing in the bias facts, right? I bring the real deal.
Hey, but I'm partial. I ain't gonna just straight up, damage control for nobody.
Oh, so. You're off.
I've seen the world. I have the world.
I mean, if you expect people to respect your opinion, you got to be honest, regardless. So.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's up. All right, make sure you guys, bang that like button. Make sure your friends know about us and hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. We're gonna go with the real deal. He called himself. What's up, Gears? Grinds my gears.
Hey, what's up? It's Jez 7780. It grinds my gears. Looking forward to the topics today. I think Addict's a little shaking in his boots because of that Master Chief stuff going on, the collection, possibly going to Pete.
No, there's no denying it now. It's going to
don't even get me started.
Well, see, here's the first time they've ever came out and openly admitted anything related to.
I've said it, and
are you an executive at Microsoft? What the hell did you get
the thing is that you told me that it wasn't. Right, you're like, right. No way, man. I bet you it's never coming.
Y'all can have this. This is a topic.
Get the recordings. Right. I'm gonna go get them.
All right, Jess, finish your intro.
That's it. That is my intro. I'm done.
Next. All right. We don't want you talking.
Gaming Addict.
Because I talk facts. I got my fact check. What's my fact check? There it is.
What's going on, you guys? Gaming Addict here. Just had one quick announcement. Definitely appreciate everyone for coming by. My announcement is fuck Jazz. Definitely appreciate everyone coming by, and we'll definitely have a great game. See, I'm unlike last week, Jazz. I'm at home.
I don't need to call names.
I don't need to deal with your bullshit this week. I'm at home and I can state my opinions this week.
I don't need to call names. I just said Master Chief Collection was going to PC, and now people are dropping some hints. And
all right, Frog.
What's good, everybody? Frog's Dope Gaming here. Just here to talk about topics, and hopefully the conversation is good.
That's what's up. Keeping it positive, right?
Jess here, it's probably not.
I'm gonna try his best to keep it facts, 100% facts.
Ain't nobody speaking facts in here. This is a 100% opinionated show. All right, Merc 305, man. What's up?
Yo, what's up?
What's up?
What's up, man? We here, Merc 305. Your friendly marketing director for the Planet Xbox podcast. We're back for another episode.
Man, looking forward to it, man. Let's get into these topics. I know it's going to be hot in here today.
All right. So what do we?
Someone did not just say Jazz facts. I'm done.
Oh Lord,
you're gonna have to hold that time out, dude.
Really?
Muting my fans in the chat.
That's hard.
I gotta have some kind of
timeouts.
He's muting my fans. He's giving timeouts to my fans.
Shout out to the Ravenflow for the early $2 donation. He says Microsoft is footing the PC bill with console live gamers. Wait, it's footing the PC bill with console live gamers. Oh, okay, I get it. I get what he's saying. All right, so what do we want to start with? What do we? There's a lot that happened this week. First,
I want to start with that basketball game playing on the top right of your screen.
Oh, bro, I need the Cavs to lose, so he heads back home to Miami, bro. You know how it is.
No, he'll be in Philadelphia. A lot happened this week. Let's talk about. We could talk about God of War. We all got it. This is playing Xbox. I gotta get this sub stuff out the way.
You gotta go.
All right.
We can start talking about God. We can start with God of War, even though it relates in no way to playing Xbox, but it is a obviously very popular, very is considered a phenomenon. You know what I mean? And we're all a part of it, with the exception of metaphorical. But we were all a part of it. We all pretty much own it or played it or beat it. So early thoughts and I guess your impressions, and then we can kind of move forward. But go ahead, Frog, since you kind of, I guess, wanted to savor this for the last. Let's have you lead the charge with this.
Well, Smooth, you're not going to get a copyright for that video playing in the background, right?
I better not.
Well, you should cover it.
Laugh. I'm not only am I gonna laugh, I'm gonna laugh and point. If you
should have left it, man. I want to see LeBron.
I should have left it. The hate that I was getting on early on, I should have said, "Fuck it, just let him get the copyright."
Nah. I just want to see LeBron catch the L.
Being a nice guy.
Hey, just want LeBron to lose.
LeBron will give the copyright strike.
No spoilers at all. I make sure to keep it as spoiler free as I can. I'm a huge fan of this series. I actually went and I got the PlayStation 4 God of War, and I'm a huge fan of the series. Out of the 6 games, I beat all of them except for Ascensions, and like you can really go into this game fresh, and you don't have to play a God of War game. But if you are a fan of the series and you go into this new game, it really helps you so much to really explain so much. The lore in the game, the conversations you're having with your son Trace is just, it's the one thing I'll say is, like, a lot of people compare this, and I've heard a lot of people compare it to like the storytelling of The Last of Us, and it's on point. It's right there with it. Like the storytelling, the way the story is told. And I haven't beat it. Like I said, I got 5 hours in this game, and I'm planning on giving me God of War, and I wish I wasn't. That game is very difficult. The more that I progress in the game, the more powers I get, the more I start learning how to use my shield. The shield is very important when you're playing in the hardest difficulty. I would say right now, just based on what I play, I can honestly say this is a 5-star game. I mean, it's a 5-star series, but this game is amazing. I haven't got to the end. Maybe my opinion will change, but I don't think this game's anything short of a masterpiece. And I would say it's absolutely stunning and amazing. Even on the base PlayStation 4, which I watched my son play for a little bit, I've not seen anything maybe it's equal other than maybe Horizon Zero Dawn on the console. I've not seen anything that's equal. So that's basically,
So nobody else got anything to say?
Mm-hmm. Man,
it's a topic. I just hopped in.
We're talking about God of War.
No, we still at the very beginning of cycle. You didn't miss much.
Okay.
Well, I played. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think it's really great. It looks incredible, and the dynamic with the how they introduced the character and his powers and stuff is really. It's really good storytelling, because the previous God of Wars had a story behind it. I beat 3. I'm not going to speak to the other ones, but he just seemed like an angry guy, just revengeful to his family, and there wasn't too much of just like kind of narrative with him speaking at that much, and this one has so much more emotion, and they really brought emotion to the character, and now definitely fleshed him out much more on how on just the design and his interaction with his child, like even the emotions that he has, like he wants to put his hand on his back to comfort him and stuff like that, but he doesn't. He's playing real like tough, getting him tough for survival and things like that. So it really is good. I think it's really good game design.
I do have a question for you, Jazz. I have a quick question for you. You know, playing God of War, afterwards, did you decide to pop a couple more Xbox hate pills? Of
course, because I think nothing like that exists on the Xbox, and they got to get their shit together.
Look at the face on him when he said
That's right.
So much anger.
You know what? The thing is, they try to do it to Master Chief, and you know they should do something like that with Master Chief. Come on, you know they have the IP to do it. They just need that storytelling, and they can do it.
You know what? If this might be Xbox hate. And because I know you say Xbox,
it's not Xbox. The thing is,
no. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm playing that game.
No, I'm gonna say something.
I did my side eye.
Okay, Frog about to say some dumb shit. Confirmed.
No, I'm about to tell you. My wife was gonna buy me my PS4 Pro, and I told her I wouldn't let her buy it. So I took my Xbox One X, and they were doing a deal. I got $400 for it and got rid of it. I still have an original Xbox day one. But there's nothing in that console. It's buyer's remorse. I had it. I had the $500. I had a $500 console. I played all my multiplayer.
Let's be honest here.
Hold on. Wait.
He was able to trade that X for almost his entire money back. I don't blame him.
I play all my multiplats with my friends. The majority of my friends are on PlayStation. There's really nothing compelling to me, except for maybe some of the games I had on there that maybe were up-res on the Xbox that really I have a day one Xbox, so I can still play games, but like I don't play my multiplats there. And to be honest, if it's like, well, you have it for the best ways to play multiplats, I don't play with my friends with my Xbox, so why do I need an X? I rather invest in something I actually know I'm going to get my money out of.
Okay. I mean,
some people might say that's hate. I don't think that's hate.
What Addict's trying to get at too is I posted after playing that, I was kind of like emotional, going that this game was so good. Like damn, like I can't believe something like that came out of first party studio. And
cried.
It was
yeah, but she
didn't cry.
Wait, you cried, Jazz?
No, I didn't cry.
No,
I didn't say crying.
But you say emotion, though. You said
I went on Twitter.
Just pulled that dude that just cried like for 40 minutes and like wipes his tears away. Like, I ain't crying.
The only people to be crying are the Xbox fans because of the lack of first party. That's the only reason why.
Somebody said Frog on his Xbox. Kick about the podcast.
So wait, Xbox. Frog, so did God of War make you do this? Like, what made you?
No. Let me explain to you. My Xbox One X was collecting dust. I didn't play the thing, and when I looked at it, I said I spent $500 on the system, and I really had to take a hard look at my gaming library. And from the beginning of this generation, the PlayStation was my more preferred place to play. That's where all my friends were. Most of my 360 guys from last generation went to PlayStation. So I had a system in the house that wasn't my Xbox, day one Xbox collects dust. I don't play on that thing. You know, when it came down to where I was going to play at, PlayStation this generation just happens to be it. Last generation, it was Xbox. I don't understand why people think that when you go from this generation, you need to go into the next generation for the next hardware. If Sony messed up as bad this generation as they did last generation, I would have stuck with Microsoft. It just happens that we got to flip-flop this generation like we did last generation, and that's just what happens. I stuck with PlayStation this generation.
Did you play God of War?
Yeah, he beat it.
He beat it. So what did you think about it?
Look here,
did you like it?
I did more on God of War than probably anyone in this podcast. So don't be coming at me. Did you play?
I'm asking how did you feel about it?
If you want that, you have to exclusively watch that on mine and Kid Smooth's mine Kid Smooth's review on God of War.
I'll tell you.
But to answer your question, Cycle, no. God of War, I didn't get rid of my X4.
So you have nothing to say here because it might be a spoiler to your review.
No, I'm just not going to say it because you asked. No, I'm fucking. No, it was a good game. I enjoyed it. It was a great game. It was definitely the best game PlayStation's have.
Shout out to the Ravenflow. He just donated.
I'll tell you what I think about it. I mean, I'm maybe about 60% into the game right now. Haven't been able to beat it. Like I know some guys here have already beat it already. Jez, you beat it already or not yet?
No,
right, so I'm like 60% through the game. Just based on the
look at that, man. Look at that. All these people do is talk shit about Xbox and have all the best PlayStation stuff. And how have I and me and Kid beat this game before you have, Jez?
Jesus Christ!
Because you got to make way for all your Xbox games that are coming, right?
I need to play my Xbox.
No, wow. He said,
that's
it. Okay.
You're back, Flo, because you got to get ready. Those Xbox games are coming.
I need an explanation, dude, because I'm completely. I don't like. I'm a loss for words.
I'm enjoying the game. I'm playing.
You're enjoying the game, so you're playing it at a snail speed.
For my fans,
you're dying a lot, aren't you? You're dying a lot,
aren't you? Game, man. Yeah. I'm playing the game. That's it. I don't have to play.
I think you're dying a lot.
For me, this generation,
dying a lot.
The Witcher
he's
3.
So bitter about that Master Chief collection.
Yeah, I've had the Witcher 3 at the pinnacle of this generation, or the game of the gen. But as I'm 60% through this game, God of War, I think, is well on its way of supplanting The Witcher 3 for me as game of the gen. I mean, that just tells you what I think about the game. It's extremely well done. How the combat evolves.
If you want my honest opinion,
yeah, go ahead.
Well, since you brought up The Witcher, I ain't played The Witcher.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing. What I have 160 hours.
I played a lot of The Witcher, but it's one of those games that I need like a week off of work, or I'm going to lose my concentration.
Okay, with The Witcher 3, it's not a game that you can just pick up and play it.
Nope.
And
you have to invest yourself into that game.
Yes.
And that's I don't like games like that. I should be able to pick up and play. If I can't pick up and play your game,
I'll be honest with you. God of War, you'd be able to pick up and play. The Witcher 3 is just the scale of the game is just
What I've played of The Witcher. And I did enjoy The Witcher, I did. But every time I would end up having to like work for like 2 or 3 days and just could not get back into The Witcher.
Man. How many hours you got into the game? Because the story doesn't open up till like 15 hours in, more or less.
Right. Yeah. 50, You
from overall perspective of the gameplay and everything invested, I feel like one of the reasons God of War was so good is because it got you in like the atmosphere was so intimidating. It got like it literally drowned you in the atmosphere of God of War.
Yeah.
But
in fact,
I can honestly say The Witcher did that way better. Like, because like when you're sitting there, like they having you search all these beasts and shit, looking up tracks, like that was a better experience than like killing the same shit over and over again on God of War. And like, okay, comment section is about to go in on me. God of War's an amazing game. I'm just saying, from what I played of The Witcher, if I would have kept on with The Witcher, I think I would be feeling The Witcher more than God of War.
I'm gonna say this on my thoughts of God of War. And if you guys watched the review, I gave God of War. We gave God of War each a 9, and so our total score turned out to be a 9. The thing about God of War, I enjoyed the game, but this whole game of the generation talk is the thing I guess I don't understand. Is that because for me, I look at Horizon Zero Dawn and I look at Uncharted 4, and I'm like, all right, I enjoyed God of War, but how much better is this game than those games? I see. I mean, I guess it can come down to preference. I feel like God of War does something that each of the games before it did, and it kind of just capitalized off of it, like the whole story companion thing with The Last of Us. I felt like was like, okay, I see the inspiration there. I see the crazy set pieces, even though God of War makes for better set pieces than Uncharted because you're dealing with like large, animals, monsters, and
you got a donation, kid. Just
I'll look at it in a minute. They got a little bit.
How about that no-cut cameraman?
That's not the first game to have done that, though.
No, it's not. But I mean, they did it real well.
Yeah, they did it well.
I mean, no overloading either.
So it's like okay, I see the Uncharted inspiration, and then obviously the worlds. You could be like, all right, who has a better world? Does Horizon have it, or God of War has it? I don't feel like God of War is. I can't say it's a definitively better game than those games that I played before it. Now, that's not saying it's a bad game or it's any worse. That's why I'll call it's easily my game of the year. I don't think anything's going to supplant it. Yeah. And I think I want to say 60% of the way through the game, I was like, all right, at this point, this game is game of the year. There's no way this game could go belly up from here forward. Like, you know what I mean? But game of the generation, no. Game of the year, easily. It should easily win that award.
I'll tell you what.
You know what, though?
I was going to say that the game brings you in. The way it soaks you in and it reels you into the game, that's kind of my metric for determining that. The Witcher 3 is the last game that has captivated me in that capacity.
I don't know. Like, a lot of you might
just look at it. Wait, how many? All right, I don't want to see. This is going to be a free. This can't. Is it a spoiler? Like, all right, the amount by the time you get to the end of the game, how many weapons do you walk out with versus previous God of War games? Or
that I do feel like the weapon variety was lacking compared to older ones, but I feel like what they improved on was better as an overall improvement than what they didn't bring back.
All right, hold on. Let me be more tactical with it. Let me be.
You got a couple bills you got to pay.
All right, Delane the King. He said X is worth it for the third-party games, and if you got the right 4K TV to get the max out of it, I only use my Pro for exclusives. Yo, shout out to Delane the King. Now, we're not popular people with our decisions. I'm exactly in your boat. I play my X for everything else, but I love my PlayStation 4 Pro for games like God of War and Uncharted and Bloodborne. So yeah,
you're going to get on the Detroit.
Same here.
Right?
Yeah, Detroit is next. I got to do the demo.
Another game.
No, I doubt it.
You know what? That thing's good though. It looks good for one place.
But you know what I was going to say, Smooth? I think that a lot of problems. I've seen a lot of, and especially this is coming from a guy who's played every God of War and beat it except for Ascensions.
Yeah, I think Raven said something too, though.
Yeah, Raven. Hold on. Every platform.
Yeah, he said 3 of them
has had the game of the gen. No, I don't believe that because I don't think Legend of Zelda is a game of a generation. I don't think, like, I'm assuming he's thinking Zelda. Well, he says Xbox. I guess he's saying PlayStation with God of War, and I'm like, yeah, sure, but I would argue that maybe there's another PlayStation game that
I would have to say that Halo 3 was a game of the gen, a contender for that generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, Halo 3 came out, and Halo 3 like. There hasn't been too many games like besides games like Overwatch, right now I would say Fortnite that came out.
My last gen?
Last gen,
yeah, last gen that came out and like pretty much dropped a time bomb. It's like we ain't doing none of the old shit. We doing new shit.
I think Halo 3 is a great game. I mean, but
here we go. You talking about shit.
No, it was a great game, but last gen there were so many freaking bigger games to me. Like BioShock was an amazing game.
So
like,
you're saying
I'm just saying like when you're talking about game of the gen, like you're talking about when you all encompass aspect, or you just talking about exclusives.
Let's talk about this gen. That'll be easy.
Okay.
Oh my God.
My point I was getting
avoid this gen. Why do you avoid this gen? Why you go back to Halo 3?
My point when I was getting to.
Oh my! We were talking about generation. How long is a generation, Jazz?
A console generation, right? That's what they're referring to.
Fucking year.
Is that what they're referring to?
Let's
talk about. Let's talk about Zelda. You go back to Halo 3. Why are we talking about this?
If we establish God of War as the generation,
let's talk about this generation. Let's talk about.
No, I was referring to the last
2013. That's the generation I want to start with.
I don't
want to go start with the good old days of Xbox. I don't want to start with the good old days.
I can't bring up the last generation.
Halo 3. That's where you go? What about this gen? What about Halo 4? Halo 5. Halo 5, man.
Jazz.
That was a part of the question, Jazz.
If we were talking about generation, games of the generation, and I brought up a generation, Jazz.
Talking about last generation. Raven, please. You don't have to pay. Just tell him if you were talking about last generation or this generation.
No, he said I can tell he's been talking about this generation. I don't think.
Thank you. Answer the question
right there. You get the banned, motherfucker.
What I was gonna say
is the question.
Not Halo 3.
My question is, I don't like how man, who decides the game of the generation? Like, I mean, that's weird.
I think it's a personal choice, man.
I was gonna say it's all subjective. It's subjective, but like when I look at this game, like for instance, what I've noticed, and I don't want to just say it's Xbox people, but especially on Twitter, a lot of people who played this game for the first time, and this is their very first God of War.
I gave him breathe. No.
this their very first God of War, or they've only played one or two of the last God of Wars and they couldn't get invested. What I keep seeing is the same thing. And you do it smooth a lot. You compare this game. No, hold on. You compare this game to a lot of games other than what games if the game is in a series. When I look at a game, it should be like for instance
to the game in the series. I think it's comparable to
hold on. When I look at God of War, I compare it to the God of Wars in the past. That's how I think you should look at games going forward. When you look at a game, hold on, let me finish.
So dramatically.
Hold on, wait. Look at where this game because you haven't played.
If I had to compare it to the last God of War, I wouldn't buy it.
You haven't played every God of War, so you're talking from an aspect you can't talk from.
Okay, talk to me. Talk to me. I'll play.
You haven't played every God of War and beat every God of War.
I played every God of War. I haven't beaten every God of War.
Every
single God of War. So what I'm saying,
I was like, I played every God of War. I just didn't beat them all.
Every game should stand on its own, though.
It's just what I'm saying is you're comparing this to The Last of Us. You're comparing it to Uncharted. But what I'm saying is like, as far as a God of War series, for what this game has done to the series, it's kind of like looking at Halo 5 and seeing how different it is. When I look at Halo 5, I look back at the past. You got to see where the series has come from to where it's going now. And you constantly say, well, it has this. It has elements of a lot of things, right? Just like Halo 5 has elements of a lot of things. But what I'm saying is you not once comparing it to anything in a series of its own series.
Because I don't see comparing it other than Kratos to compare it to.
Okay, but you don't look. You're like Colin Moriarty. Colin Moriarty
said, "Oh my God,
no, he's just like
he's done. He's
oh my God,
you're just like Colin Moriarty.
They're gonna be muting people now."
I played God of War 1. I didn't like the Kratos character. Like the most I've heard people say is the same thing over and over. This is their first full God of War game they like. They didn't get invested to the character. So how the hell can people talk about a game and a series? They never even played the whole series.
You know, listen, I just said I played every game. I just didn't beat them all. I can still make it come. When I look at God of War 2018 and then the first 3, 4, or however many games of the series that they had, to me, they aren't comparable.
There's 6.
I can't compare this God of War to God of War 1, 2, or 3 because they don't resemble each other. What I'm saying to
you, Smooth, is when I played God of War 3, I absolutely thought like at its time, I was like, that game was. It was just so epic. It was epic. Right. Then going on to this God of War, like it's just such a different game. I agree with you, but you don't compare God of War to 3 or 2 or 1. You're comparing it to all these other games. Why can't you compare the game
because it's not comparable to its predecessors?
It is.
God of War 3 was comparable to God of War 2. God of War Ascension was comparable to God of War 3. I can't compare God of War
in a sense if you played all of them.
You don't even know. They did reinvent the franchise.
They did. What I'm saying is, like, I hear a lot of people.
It evolved.
Look, this game.
Like they did a similar Halo 4. Like they added stuff to it, but nothing.
Hold on.
This game has a lot of elements from a lot of games, right? This game has a lot of elements, and I agree to that, and I don't have a problem with that. But I'm not comparing this game to The Last of Us. I'm not comparing this game to Uncharted, and I keep hearing people do that.
You're in denial.
No, it's got elements of those franchises.
It does have elements of it.
They've taken.
I just admitted that. I just said that. But what I'm saying is
that's why we're comparing it to.
No,
a lot of the people that are comparing it to those games have played those games. I'm just coming off of 2 Uncharted and Horizon.
Would it be fair? Would it be fair to compare Halo 5 to Advanced Warfare? Because they have very similar moveset systems. They very much do. When they came out, they were very similar in a lot of ways they played. Would I compare? That's not fair.
I think it's fair shooter to another first-person shooter.
No, I think it's fair to compare Halo. I think it's fair to compare Halo to the past Halos.
You're not comparing. Here's the thing. I can see if we're taking Halo Wars 2 and trying to compare it to Halo 3.
But how different is Halo 5? But how different is Halo 5 from the first 2 and 3? It's very different.
It's very different, but it's still the same. It's still Halo.
It's very different. It's very different.
Remember the
Halo game.
Oh, Halo doesn't change. It's still Halo.
And
God of War changed.
And God of War changed before this one.
True.
God of War changed before this one. If you play the whole series, you would know how much it's changed.
Story-wise, or like the complete how they just
What do you mean?
overhauled this shit?
If you would actually play the whole series, you'd know.
The way this shit is overhauled.
What do you mean?
No,
Frogs?
no, this is the biggest overhaul.
Yeah, this
Go
is
from
a
God
total
of
overhaul.
Go from
No,
God
no,
of War
I
1
mean-
to God of War 2.
It's
And then
about
go from-
natural
Hold on.
advancements.
Go from
It's
God of
about
War 1.
natural
No,
advancements.
no. I want to know what he's talking about.
Go
You-
from
Okay,
God of
I'm
War
gonna shut
1
up.
to
I'm
God
gonna mute myself.
of War 2.
hold
right?
on. Who else?
Then go to God of
Wait,
War 3,
wait.
and you will see a drastic change. It's a completely when God of War 3 came out, it was a completely different God of War.
What do you
It
mean?
wasn't
What do
like
you
1
mean?
and 2. It was very different. And just
How?
the whole way they did everything. That look, God of War has always been about big set pieces, right? So that's in every God of War game. God
Right.
of War has always been about the brutal finishers and I could say some of the quick time, or what they did, the QTEs. That's kind of in every God of War game, right? But what makes
changed?
God of say again?
What changed from 1, 2, and 3? What are you saying changed?
What changed from Ghost of Sparta to Chains of Olympus to 1 to 2 to Ascensions to God of War 3 was the way they told the story. It was completely way. You couldn't do that because technology got better. You couldn't do that. It's kind of like looking at Halo 5 and say, well, I'm gonna compare it to this game. When you look at Halo
every
5,
game
Halo 5 is
different when they.
But what I'm saying
every
is,
game,
what I'm saying is like this game. What I'm saying is like I hear a lot of people. I think when you look at a game in the series, you compare it to the game in the series and the franchise. People are just throwing out games because they just want to throw it out. And
Not because we just wanted to go out. We're looking at what we're seeing and what we're playing.
Look, there's similar aspects of a lot of different.
Hold on.
There's
I'm
similar
confused.
aspects to a lot of different
I'm
games, but what
confused.
I'm saying is, why are we not comparing this game to the merits of its past games?
Because you can't compare it. Like I don't
Yes, you
understand
can.
how
How do
you
logic.
not?
Like
I'd say
okay,
the-
explain to me what you mean. Explain, because I don't understand what you're talking about. I really don't. And
I'd
yes,
say-
I have beat all the God of Wars,
Same
but
here.
Ghost of
Same
Sparta.
here.
The fairest comparison would be like from other games from the same studio or games that came out around the same time that are in the same genre. And
How am I going to compare this gen game God of War to a last gen God of War? Like that makes no sense, especially the drastic difference of the gameplay from last God of War to this God of War.
Right.
Look, people
to
saying
me,
this,
like real quick. To
Go
me,
ahead.
this God of War feels it feels like it has more in common with The Last of Us than a previous God of War. That's just
from the story aspect.
The way the
No,
story,
let's
and
be
the
real here.
companion.
It's everything.
It's not everything.
It
Except the
is.
RPG
It's everything.
element.
Explain
Except
to me.
What did Ellie
explain
do?
to me what
What
else.
did Ellie do for you in The Last of Us?
Explain. No, hold on.
Atreus
What
does.
else? Explain to me the logic behind that. What does it have that's so appealing and it reminds you so much of the original God of Wars?
Do you know the story of Kratos? Do you
I beat
understand
them
the
all.
story of Kratos?
I beat them
What
all.
I'm saying
Why do you keep
is,
bringing that up?
what I'm saying is most people, I'm not talking about just you, most people I've seen that tweet this, they haven't even played this
Well,
series.
see,
They're
I'm not like
morons.
most people. I want you to
They're
explain yourself
morons.
stop just saying that.
Look,
I want explanation.
this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is compare this game on its own merits to the series, not Last of Us. We can see it has elements of the story. The storytelling is to me, the way they did the storytelling, it has that Last of Us feel. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't have things from Uncharted or Tomb Raider, but what I'm saying is when you look at God of War as a whole series, when you look at it, compare it to the games in the past of the series, not to, oh, well, when I look at God of War, the reason I don't like it is because this part's kind of like Uncharted, or this part's kind of like The Last of Us. And they just took
No one's ever said they disliked the game for that.
I didn't say that. What I'm saying is, nobody will compare this game on the merits of this series.
But why would we compare that? I don't understand why we would compare the older God of Wars to this new stylish God of War. Like, I don't understand. How are we going to compare that? There's really no
anytime something comes out that's in the series, you compare it to the old. You compare it to the old. You look at what came from the old. You look at where you came from to where you are now. We will do that with The Last of Us 2. When we look at The Last of Us 1, we're not going to say, oh, well, The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 will be based on its merits of the first game. We'll look and say, well, this is this different. This is this different. The whole comparison, everybody I won't say everybody. A lot of people who have not played the series, they're just comparing it from a standpoint of, well, every Sony
the games that it was inspired by.
Frogs.
What was it inspired by?
It was clearly had a lot of inspiration from Last of Us. Let's stop acting like it.
Real quick, if The Last of Us went to a first-person shooter that nobody would compare it to. If The Last of Us 2 was a first-person shooter, then right.
I agree with that. But God of War, God of War has the only thing that changed is really the camera angle, and you can't jump.
That's not all
as
that
far.
changed.
No. I'm talking about the biggest difference. Because like all the other God of Wars are kind of like an ISO kind of symmetric view, kind of pulled back, where it wasn't an over the shoulder kind of Resident Evil 5 or 4 kind of camera view. So what I'm saying is like I can compare it to that and say that, right? But when I look at the past God of Wars, I can say, well, this has changed, this has changed, this has changed. I'm not comparing God of War to The Last of Us. I'm not comparing God of War to Uncharted. I can see elements in there, and I'm not saying it's not in there. But why do people? The first thing they initially want to say is, well, it's not anything special because it's like this, or because it's like that, or because it's like this.
It's not something. That's why it's not special. Not saying that it's not good. That's my thing. Is I feel to me it feels familiar. I feel like I can't just come up and say this game is the game of the generation for the simple fact that it's like I can't even tell myself how much is it better than Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, or The Last of Us.
That's the point right there. That's the point.
It has to be like
you're not looking at it. You're not looking at it as a series. So
wait, you
realize that a lot of people.
I've also said, and you no, because he was right here in the chat. I said I will play.
I'm just confused. I have no clue what he's talking.
I don't think.
God of War wasn't even a topic on our list.
I don't even.
It was.
I don't even know what's going on. Like at the end of the day, like you can't go like. Everyone's going to compare this to the games being played now because not everyone's played the older God of Wars. Not everyone played the old Uncharted. So the current game's always going to be compared to the hottest games on the market right now.
True.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, I really can't blame them for taking elements of
no one's saying that.
Right,
and no one's
implementing. I can't blame them.
No.
Those elements
modernize the game to what the current hotness things are, the elements are.
Exactly.
I mean, that's all video games is copying.
So I can't blame them
very much.
All right, so let's move on to the next thing. All right,
I know 10 out of 10, bro.
It's a 10.
It's a 10.
That's all I care about.
It's no comment.
Everybody loves it. You know, it's gonna win. It's gonna be nominated for game.
It's a 9 out of 10, right? No, it's 10 out of 10.
It's not 9 out of 10 for me.
Whatever.
9 out of 10.
Deep throat the game. That's your fault.
Yeah. I mean, it's all
you guys did it. You guys, how did you review it together though? Did you
11 out of
share
10.
play or something?
Why would we share play the review together?
I don't know. Like, how did you review it together? You have a dual review?
We sit in a chat and we talk about.
This dude has never watched any of our reviews, kid.
I watched it.
I'm
You
not
guys did it over OBS.
I just downvoted. Nah.
Yeah, no, it's all right. All right. So Albert Pinello is leaving Microsoft. Any thoughts on this and what does that mean? Like, I mean, anybody know who Albert Pinello is? And
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think it's
why
good,
is that? Explain that. If somebody says that's good, I want them to explain.
Okay, I think that he was part of their PR team, right?
Yeah, marketing.
Yeah, I think we need some new blood of marketing. I don't know about you guys, but I think
I'd have to 100%.
Holler at me, Microsoft, man. Holler at me.
I mean,
yeah, get them.
I think they haven't been capitalizing a lot on like a lot of their games, but I think it's because most of the games that are coming out, they're basically billboarding. Like that's why they started Game Pass, is because they're billboarding like Sea of Thieves, and when Crackdown comes out, this cloud shit, which I'm gonna touch on when we go over like the 120 hertz topic. So,
So, do you guys? I'll ask you guys this. All right. Do you guys think that he was kind of pushed out, or do you think he just really left on his own? Like,
I think he might have left on his own.
Yeah,
I actually think the opposite.
I think he left on his own. I don't think it was forced out, but I do think it was sudden.
We got to think about it. Last week,
plan.
we got a hire for Daryl Gallagher, and then this week we get.
Yeah, but
exactly.
Maybe they didn't.
I think
Maybe they didn't like each other. Daryl came on. He's like, "No, if you hire him, I'm out."
Now I just need Shannon Loftus.
Pinello was Pinello was the marketing of the console. He wasn't their like game development people. He was their console marketing. Greenberg does software marketing. He did the hardware marketing for the Xbox console. That's what he did.
Did he?
Yes, that's what's in his description. It says Xbox console marketing.
Okay.
So when you have a console, it came
boy in the chat.
I don't know. I thought they were saying they're going to do next console, but he's the console marketing guy. That's why he was around a lot with the coming out, coming out of the limo, holding it up like the Super Bowl trophy. And stuff like that.
I don't know why you find offended.
I don't find offense. I'm mentioning there's a photo of them coming out holding the Xbox. I'm not offended. I'm just telling you what I
saw. That was in New York City, right? That was in New York City.
Yes, him and Greenberg came running out with the thing. That's why you saw him, because he was the Xbox marketing guy and Greenberg's the software marketing guy. Yeah. But so the other guy coming on, he's gonna be a studio guy though. Like he's for games. The Pinella wasn't for game. Like he was a marketing guy.
Well, that's what
man. It's a good thing because, I mean, you could tell things are changing in Microsoft. Like Smooth said, Gallagher gets hired. Pinello now is gone. A little while ago, obviously Phil Spencer got promoted. Matt Booty now is what? You're right. I mean, come on. I mean, look at all the changes happening. Things are changing at Xbox. That's clear as day.
Yeah.
I think it's because they're actually taking it serious. So,
yeah.
Especially
we hope.
Because what?
We hope they're taking it serious.
Well, I mean, I think it's because they're taking it serious. I think that Crackdown is basically going to like make or break Microsoft because
you think Crackdown? You putting all that pressure on Crackdown, man?
Yeah, because this.
Please don't have the argument we had with Luca. That was like an hour-long argument. I don't want to have that argument again. Go ahead, save peace though. I already know where this is going.
I mean, I basically think they're using it like Fortnite. They're going to need to use it like Fortnite to leverage whatever this cloud shit that they're going to base the city on. So if this game's not successful, then like I'm saying, this is all like where they've been pivoting, and why we think that there's been such a drought of games is because they're trying to basically develop on a new type of platform that's based off this cloud shit. So.
I disagree, but
Fortnite, they're gonna. But Game Pass is kind of their Fortnite, right? You mean put it in there? Or you think you make it free?
Well, what I'm saying is that so it's like if they tried to sell this shit and then it like let's say it blew up in their face or it didn't function as properly or there was some kind of blowback, then there's less of a sting and less of a PR problem if they just say, hey, you're getting it in Game Pass along with all these other games. So, hey. If it doesn't work as developed, like with Sea of Thieves.
The Sea of Thieves, exactly. I was about to say, yeah.
But that's what game previews for, though.
But what I'm saying is Sea of Thieves is a good example, since a lot of the assets in that game are based, like cloud-based, like the water. The thing that people can hate Sea of Thieves, talk about this lack of content or whatever, but the thing that that I heard the most on Twitter and in the community and stuff like that after the game came out was people were talking about how amazing the effects of the water is and stuff like that. And when you wrap your head around the fact that the physics done for the water, for example, isn't even processed on your Xbox, people are talking about this is already here. Like they're already rolling it out, like kind of under people's noses because they always get this blowback, like when they come out with DRM or whatever. And if they were to push this out and say, hey, now all your games are going to require 50 meg, 100 meg connection, or the game might not play properly. They don't want that. So like they're going to just kind of see how it goes, see where the problems lie, fix them before people know what they're actually on. And then when they actually start printing it and putting it on the back of the game saying powered by Azure or cloud powered or whatever, people will understand how gaming has changed. I think that people aren't seeing the shift, just like they never see them. And then we're past that shift and nobody saw it coming.
So are you basically saying they're going back to, are you basically saying they're going back to the always online, just in a different way?
I think that what they're doing, they're basically doing the next gen of what live was. So now instead of it just being live and a way for us to talk to each other and everything, now it's like the whole platform is being distributed like that. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they're doing exactly what they were planning to do in the beginning. They just can't do it.
That's
they
what
can't do it. Okay. They can't do it the way they were doing it. Yeah. You
weren't ready for it then. Now they're ready for it. They're basically about to blend the two. That's why you have Game Pass. That's why we have the ability to actually download our games and own them, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm. I hope that works.
But most of what they're going to start doing is offloading, like I'm saying, all of the processing to the cloud. So how is Sony going to compete with a box when Microsoft can upgrade on the server side versus us having to go out and buy a new box? That's why you keep hearing these are quotes they've already had out where they say that, there's not going to be no new generation. They're being serious about that. Like they're going to keep coming out with boxes, but the box is going to matter less than the infrastructure.
So let me ask you a question, because I have a theory. Do you think the next generation of console will be forward and backward compatible, meaning that any games that come to the next Xbox will play on the existing Xbox One X, on the existing S, and the day one Xbox?
My answer to that would be that the S and the X will be the longest quote unquote relevant consoles that have ever existed in like console gaming, because Microsoft will leverage the cloud to offload. Like when the hardware, the physical hardware, it can't keep up, they'll offload that game to Azure.
But it's not offloading. It's not offloading graphics. It's offloading calculations and physics. No, it's offloading physics calculations.
So what I'm saying is, if you're off, that's
it's
all.
It's not like a 1080 that's somewhere else, and you're talking about. Exactly but that's different than Sea of Thieves water, though.
No, but I'm saying it's the same thing. When you're offloading the processing of the physics, that's all. Our games are a representation of physics. So how complicated does a computer box have to be to receive the changes in data? That's all it has to be. Like all your graphics card is doing is processing these physics. That's the only limitation to most of the
textures and the graphics and of the game. It's not the physics are like when something interacts with another calculation of it, but the calculations are offloaded. It's not that it's running the graphics or
it's not rendering the game.
It's not rendering it. That's what I'm saying.
So the box still has to render the frame.
It's
what I'm saying
is, of physics.
So we have like baby steps leading up to something. So what I'm saying is you have these little baby steps. First you have stuff like Sea of Thieves. Now we're going to have a game where the whole city is basically calculated, not on your console. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well,
you're going from part of a game.
They showed it as a tech demo.
So what I'm saying is if it comes out and it's true what they're saying, then like I'm saying, we're going to have the first game where the whole entire game is not pretty. Your console is basically a window into this Azure server, is what's happening. So like I'm saying, that's how it's going to change gaming, and why I'm saying that. I was saying this on Luca's show, and people went crazy and stuff, and I was like, Sony pretty much already lost the next generation, because if they don't have an answer to Azure and this cloud shit, how are they going to keep up with Microsoft when like I'm saying, Microsoft's got more money than them?
But if I'm not, well, wait a second. The thing is though about the games, if they're making tech demos to show this Azure cloud rather than a quality game, then it doesn't matter where that's.
Microsoft's looking at the bigger thing.
I feel like they're making the games for the cloud. I want the games for the player.
People selling for the cloud. I think people were selling a false narrative on the whole Microsoft has no games, because if you go look at the top selling
they have games, but the games they're making seem like they're going for the tech rather than the quality for the end user.
But they go for popularity. Look at, if you go to the VG charts of the top selling games of all time, Microsoft has 2 games that are like in the top 15. Minecraft, which is worth probably more than every Sony IP that.
But they did nothing. They bought Minecraft when it was. They didn't do anything with Minecraft.
They still
to make it
own
what
it.
Was. They just put the lights on.
I
know, but they did not take it from ground up with their cloud and all that other stuff.
I'm still saying that you can't take away that they own that.
No, they own it. They did a smart purchase. That was Good job. They kept the lights on.
Smart.
So, but they didn't build Minecraft from the ground up. So what's the next game?
That's a false. You know what I'm saying? That's a logical fallacy to say, well, just be they either own it, that's their IP, or not.
They own it.
That's smart, man. Okay. There will be hardware being sold for the next 2 generations. I don't see.
I think that there's always going to be. I think there's always going to be boxes sold, but every generation past this generation, the boxes are going to become less and less relevant to the equation.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole thing of like Sony already lost the next gen. Look, man, when the next God of War drops, the sequel to this one, I don't care what Microsoft is doing. If they don't got an answer with the games, it's a wrap.
And that's true. And also, Sony does have an answer to it. I've been saying this since about 2014. Is they're both pushing towards the digital, way. I agree. Things. One because they're just taking different routes to get there, taking different approaches to get there. So Sony does have an answer. And something like PS Now or something to that effect. Sony does have an answer to it. It just they're going different directions to get to that finish line.
Here's a good. We're actually covering this as a topic: the 120 hertz update on Xbox.
The update. Yeah, the big update for May. What does that mean? Why? Because remember, the first thing people say when I highlighted it, people was like, the Xbox can't even get 60 frames per second. So what do you think? It's nothing. It doesn't matter. So
I want to hear everybody's on the panel's opinion of what they think it means, and then I'll give my opinion last.
Well, I'm just wondering. I guess my question is this update is for the Xbox Complete Series, or what?
It's for all Xboxes.
And I don't know too much about the update. If it's what it does and everything, I don't really understand. I'm really not a major opinion because I don't understand what the update's about and what it's going to really apply to me as far as games. So,
I mean, right now, games and most games ain't even written to be like unlock frame rate. And the other thing is like what's the X going to run at 120 hertz? Minecraft? Because it's definitely not going to run many games past 60 frames per second. I mean, it's not happening like with that hardware. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're really like downscaling graphics and stuff like that, I just don't see the point behind it. I don't see the point behind it. Maybe there's a strategy to it, and that's the rationale behind them doing that update. I don't understand what the rationale is behind it.
I think there's two things with it. I think one is that they want to support the PC monitors that have this higher refresh rate. But I think really, if you're looking at that high frame rate, maybe they're gonna. I thought they were gonna do VR support, but the thing is that if it's for the S cannot run the VR games. So I think it's just trying to make the console be more adaptable in a PC setup to what those PC monitors are. Same thing with the variable refresh rate and things like that. Probably just trying to take it to more of a PC setup with supporting those PC monitors.
So I'd ask you a question though, if you on that. What game even could run though at 120 hertz on either Xbox, even if the monitor could support it?
I don't know. They don't have a game that does it, but I know Sony does the VR with their screen supports 120 hertz.
I think Killer Instinct can. I think Killer Instinct will be able to, or it can.
It's just
it's a fighting game though.
They don't have any game that supports it, so like they're just making it again another option, I guess, for like people that want to try to run a game at that higher frame rate. I guess the console supports it. I don't know.
Well, the console supports free things and 120 hertz, so I feel like I think there's a fiction.
So, what do you think, Addict?
I had no comment.
Well, metaphor, just say what you know.
I was just
real quick. I'll say this though. I had a 240 hertz TV, and last generation, a lot of the games looked 10 times better because of that TV. It had nothing to do with the hardware.
Yeah, it has to do with
native.
It's not native. The 240 hertz on those TVs, they're not native. They're usually like 120 double. They use software to double the frame rates for smoothness. Right. But that's why the games don't look that good, because some of the games are not rendered at that.
Yeah, it's pointless. You need the hardware to push that frame rate. I mean, it is what it is.
Like, my games look so much better on that certain TV because of the refresh rate on that television. So it had nothing to do with the 360. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. It would have been nice if they explained why they did it rather than just doing it, but they don't. They have messaging problems.
I think this ties back into the earlier topic, and people might think I'm crazy, but I think it ties into the whole cloud thing, and they're pushing it out before Crackdown, because, like I'm saying, in the near future, they'll be able to get these higher frame rates, because, like I'm saying, if you looked at in 2000, like when they did the original demo for Crackdown, which people played and whatever. They had that game running at 30 frames per second with the physics-based destruction and everything like that yes, because I'm
4K 120 hertz on Xbox.
That's not happening.
Well,
is that what you said?
I didn't say 4K. I never said that.
Well, they're running 4K, so like they're definitely going that 4K 30 route. But
I never said it was going to apply necessarily to Crackdown. What I'm saying is they're enabling. I said that because they're releasing it before Crackdown, because Crackdown might have let's say that some games are already pushing 60 frames per second. They can unlock the frame rate on Crackdown, and if some of the processing is being done by Azure, then you can possibly get higher, like I'm saying, than 60 frames per second if you use 120.
I'll tell you why I don't think that's the case, because that means the cloud will be rendering the entire frame. It's not just the calculations. That means
it does. If you go, I'll post
rendering the whole entire frame in itself, and it's streaming that frame
to
your console and pushing it on screen.
It actually renders 3 different versions. So in fact, it does more than one version. So of when it renders a frame. So
let me ask you this
what
question.
game are you seeing this in? What game?
No, I'm saying this is demonstrated technology that they've used, like that they showed. Like for example, when they released the demo
for Crackdown, they showed different parts of the city had different kind of calculations.
Correct.
The red, the green. Yeah.
If you go read that, you could just go. You can go read the article. As a matter of fact, and they'll quote it in there. They on the Azure running on the base Xbox, which could be an S or regular Xbox. They had the game running at 30 frames per second. Then they tried to run the same game, everything on PC. That's what I'm saying, and it ran better than the 980 Ti.
Yeah, and everybody thought that was going to make the resolution and everything be better than. And then
what I'm saying is
releasing an X.
All them things, because an X allows you. Imagine if you have a world where you have a machine that by itself can process most games at the cutting edge. Then you also leverage this offboarding of processing. So, like I'm saying, you're talking about 2 things working in tandem versus you just coming out with a set box that's limited to what's inside that box, and that's it.
Now they're drawing this comparison to the 980 Ti in frame rate, because in quality and texture quality, I highly doubt it's going to keep up.
What I'm saying is they're comparing it apples for apples and saying, look, with Azure, you're getting 30 frames per second. On a high-end PC 980 Ti, you're getting 10 frames per second. This is quoted in the article. So people can just ignore that. This is already being sold by stuff like GeForce Now. This isn't like some pie. This isn't some pie in the sky. Microsoft is just about to leverage it through their infrastructure versus all these other people having to go through Amazon and like vendor through them. But
because GeForce Now, they're rendering the entire frame on there.
Exactly, and that's what Microsoft is going to be doing. You think Microsoft can't do what NVIDIA can do?
So let me ask you a question. So going forward, because it sounds like you really believe this is the future of the next future as far as gaming. So what you're saying is Microsoft, in a clever way, has found a way for games to go back to being online always, and without it being on, but without your Xbox, whatever, being connected to any internet infrastructure, you won't be able to use this.
And people will cry and say crazy stuff or whatever, but it'll be a game just like Destiny. You can't play Destiny unless you're connected to the internet. So and they'll say, hey, Microsoft will come out with these games and people will say, well, my internet's not fast enough or whatever. And Microsoft will be like, we'll tell your internet, get a better internet provider. That's not
on
so
them. Far off.
I don't think Microsoft will say that, because that's like Sony saying, go get a job to buy a PlayStation 3.
We as gamers are saying that because we're talking as laymen. They're not going to come out and say that. Well, what I'm saying is that things aren't going to stop moving forward because people say, hey, well, I live in the boonies and I got dial-up. Well, if you really want to game that bad, then you're going to find a way to game.
But that stuff is so
that's
far
2 gens
off.
from now. I think.
I was about to say, to me, that doesn't even sound like something I think next gen would be a permanent thing right at the beginning of the gen. That sounds like something at the end of the next generation.
I think if you go look,
an option.
If you go look at the Pew Research polls right now for who has access to broadband, you can go Google this right now. 71% of people that make over $30,000 have access to broadband. So, So, at what point do people think that Microsoft's going to wait to be like, hey, we're going to start rolling this shit out and leveraging it before? Because right now, their only competitor that I see going into the next generation is Amazon.
Microsoft has realized to this point. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I wasn't going to say, but I hear that point, but you're talking about the user base and saturation market. 71% of people who make over X amount of dollars aren't gamers either. So the gaming market is big, but it's not as big as we like to think it is on the console side.
No, but what I'm saying is people's primary argument.
So why would they do that? That's
people's primary argument.
I'm trying to think of that. Like, why would Microsoft put their basically their foot in their mouth again, or basically shoot their foot off by saying, "Hey, we're in a clever way. We're gonna have this always online. Haha, we got one game now. We got you."
Phil's already embarrassed to talk about
always
the cloud.
online with most of our consoles, but
Phil's embarrassed to talk about the cloud. Yeah. He says it's a joke.
Let's move on. I want to talk about let's talk about the Halo on PC, because Addict and Jez got to get this thing out.
Oh my god!
Do you guys know the backstory?
Addict, I'll let him slide.
Do you guys know the backstory of the?
Yeah, I do.
Right. All right, Merc. I want you to explain it and then let these two go at it.
All right, so I'll tell you what I know about that Halo Online that's been going on. That was originally developed, if I'm not mistaken, for the Russian market, which I still don't understand that.
Yes,
right? And Russia. Then, what was the name of that mod group that
like
was
El Dorado, something
like that?
Like something like that. El Dorado, something like that.
Right? And Microsoft was actually greenlighting, allowing them to continue to work on this Halo Online game, right, using all the Microsoft assets.
Yep, IP
right?
and everything.
Mm-hmm. And actually, to tell you the truth, I want to say they've been working on that for like 2 or 3 years now, and I've actually played it before. This is maybe like going back like a year and a half ago, right? And I know that existed. I've basically been ignoring it for quite some time, but then now the news broke out today that Microsoft is suing them or something like that to that effect.
They're shutting it down.
They're shutting it down. They're
going to actually allow you to do it, but it has to be a Microsoft like thing. Correct. Otherwise, they can lose their IP.
Right, and then for a franchise that's old and tired, the internet blew up when they announced that Halo was coming to PC.
Basically. So the article is like sort of an apology sign of like what the deal is, like that they were pulling this down and move, and like, you know, the reason why is, and you know, and then they do state that as we look ahead, we're very excited about the prospects of official classic. Well, the thing is that Phil Spencer took that excerpt out of their kind of 343's statement and said this point is important and tweeted it out. As we look ahead, we're very excited about the prospects of an official classic Halo experience making its way to PC, and we hope to be able to partner with El Dorado team and broader mod and content creation community. So basically, he says not official support for the game, but of an official classic Halo experience. So they'll say new experience, which you think about Halo 6, which we kind of knew was going to PC. It's the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I said that they were working on it. It wasn't because of the X. It was because they were going to put it on PC, and Addict had a conniption. Saying no. So,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't
tell me no way, Jose. Well, it's coming, Jose.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it either.
E3, I don't care. I can't wait. And if it has mod support, that would be incredible. But you cannot deny the PC market is that if Phil Spencer saying people will deal with the Windows 10 store for Halo Master Chief Collection.
Facts. That's the only game they got.
Maybe you can't do mod support, but they will.
If Master Chief Collection with the brand new update is going to the PC, fine, but the crossplay better be optional, because I don't want to deal with the whole modding and fucking playing against PC players.
I think it
Halo.
probably
I will not
that
play
sound,
Halo
that sounds like that sounds like it will be optional.
And you know what? The thing is, I understand that, but the problem that they have is that the Windows 10 store does not have a large enough following to support an online game with them. That's why they moved them over to Gears of War to the console players, because the Windows 10 store, if you just buy it from there, it's not big enough for people to use it. Now, maybe Halo will be the exception to that, but still, like, that's why Gears of War people have creeped into the console version of Gears of War, because of the cross-playing, because of the fact that probably takes longer for them to find games if it's just isolated to a Windows 10 experience. And that's the reason why. So can't guarantee that they won't do that crossplay, but they better make it an option, because CFDs, it's not an option. And I just saw Rand joined our joined our podcast to Jez. Yeah. Well, he was talking to his other Jez today, his other buddy, and Jez was basically saying about the same thing about the crossplay with Sea of Thieves, how, you know, that they got to be sure that it's not forced and it is an option. And I know Gears of War, if you do ranked, it's an option, but they are creeping in the casual one. So we'll see what they do with Master Chief Collection, because that's a big one.
I'm telling you, I will not. I don't.
They got to.
But I would not want to do no sort of crossplay with Halo on. And I like my experience in Halo. I don't want that shit ruined. I really don't.
I'm gonna buy a Razer Death Adder mouse for
crossplay should be optional.
I'm gonna mail it to Smooth, bro, so he can play it on PC with keyboard and mouse.
Wait, let me ask.
Go ahead.
Have they completely fixed the Master Chief Collection?
No, they will. As soon as that shit is ported to UWP, that shit's gonna be legit, and I'm happy, and hopefully it can get that resurgence. And the extra enhancements is gonna be dope, and hopefully it's fixed. I will go back and play that shit faithfully because I just can't wait to get back on like Halo 3. But yeah, but I'm my only fear is that whole what the PC community is capable of, because these motherfuckers aren't naturally talented, so they cheat. They gotta do shit. So
they gotta cheat.
Cheating bastards.
You gotta be careful with the mods. Since they're gonna be allowing mods, man, they gotta be careful.
Well, they don't have mods on the Windows 10 store. I don't think they would.
I thought they allowed it on Master Chief Collection.
Oh yeah,
that's how I understood it.
Well, yeah,
they're gonna be supporting mods.
Oh man,
would it go wrong? But that's what I would go to Steam. Holy crap! I don't think Micro will miss out on that money.
This is at the moment where I wouldn't care if it goes to Steam, as long as then there's no reason where crossplay should be forced.
Yeah,
that's I just don't understand why they don't just put the games on Steam. That's what they should do.
That's what everybody wants. I know, but they don't get any part of it, and then they got to pay Steam probably. And that's what I mean. Like when people go, oh, this is such a prosumer thing. Microsoft is giving more people to experience their games. You know what, though? It's a double-edged sword, because it's not totally them kumbaya with everybody, because if they really want to touch everybody, they'll go put it on Steam, not on the Windows 10 environment. So
I agree with you. I mean, Steam, that platform is PlayStation 4 and Xbox combined.
Look at Cuphead. Cuphead went was big on Steam. But the thing is that if they wanted to reach as many people, like they say, like everybody should experience this, they will put it on Windows 10 and Steam, but they still got to keep that thing close to them. So Windows 10 is still not the ultimate kumbaya. If they put it on Steam, that's sort of what they should be doing. If they want to put their money where their mouth is, then they should put it on everything and not just put it on Windows 10 and Xbox. But it is what it is. They do.
Just moving onward, the Xbox Discord partnership's going on, where we can have Discord is on Xbox, and it'll allow people from PC to see what you're playing through there, and vice versa. Yeah. Are you going to be able to chat through there as well?
No,
it's just presence. So.
It's just presence.
It's just presence.
It's presence. Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, because what I want them to do is incorporate the chat, and then
pretty sure in the update it said there would be voice chat.
Yeah, because you'll be able to chat on PC.
Hey, Rand in the chat, there are political factors for not putting it on Steam.
Of course, there is.
The thing is, reason why
I could agree.
Yeah.
Reason why I want this Discord thing to happen, if they can get the chat, because I want PlayStation to get Discord, and I want to be able to chat with people in the game chat with us being on different platforms. If that has to happen by Discord,
that would be interesting. I really think that's good.
That would be dope.
Maybe they will apply enough pressure to Sony to open up to that. I just doubt they'll do it though.
Like, we can literally essentially do the podcast on our consoles.
Yeah,
true.
That would be super dope.
Yeah, that's
that will be dope. I ain't gonna lie.
Why are you live streaming?
And the Xbox actually supports just about any HD camera.
Yep. Yeah. See, it's such a great console, but so underrated.
I think.
When they add voice support, but they just added the presence now. I don't know if they'll do voice support.
The voice support is coming. Trust me, it has to.
Look,
if it does, then it really kills their Xbox app. It kills their Xbox app.
You boot it up, it said that there was voice support in it.
Well, I mean, if they're buying it,
there was a rumor that Microsoft was buying Discord or in the running for buying Discord.
Yeah, watch what they're gonna do. How they did, how they did with Beam, and they turned it to Mixer and they integrated with Xbox One. That's exactly what Discord is doing. It's gonna replace our party chat. It's gonna replace Skype, and it's gonna. It's gonna be available. It's gonna be available, but Skype isn't a most popular app on this Xbox. Hell,
not anymore. They pushed it early on, though.
Yeah, but because earlier on, come on, look at the options, man.
Look at the difference.
You thought Skype would be a big deal on a console back then.
Remember, it will follow you with Connect. Like the Connect will follow you around the room.
Yeah, and I thought that was dope. I used to call my best friend.
Yeah, that was crazy, man.
I know, it was pretty cool. And then we always thought that they were going to do an overlay where they'll have like your video in the corner as you're playing the game. Like,
I think that
but they never did it.
They should have,
cool.
That would have been a nice video chat, game and play while you video chat.
Exactly, like a little overlay, picture in picture. That's what I thought they were gonna do. Like almost, and it was funny because we're looking at Titanfall, and I was like, "Oh, Titanfall has the little video people that pop up as you're playing the game. Like, think about that as your party chat people like showing up. Like how they get in.
Oh my god, that would have been so dope.
Yeah,
that's shit.
That's what I signed up for in 2013. That's
hey, man, look, that's where I thought all this shit was going, and then
I know,
wire, and then
but that's
right. So I have the article up that Mike Rivera tweeted. He said in the article it says connecting with friends is such a big part of why people game. Gamers all over the world can use and love Discord to easily chat and connect with friends while they game. In the upcoming weeks and the collaborations for games to choose as they do, we make it easier to connect and see what friends are doing as accessible to providing much more. Yeah, so right now it is only just you could see what they're doing, but they said that they are working on it in the article. It's just right now they don't have it accessible.
Okay, thanks to Addict for the update. Now PlayStation and Switch need to get a fucking Discord app going so we can
Discord it
I'll
up.
tell you, that would be awesome for the consumer, man. It really would.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One more thing we could talk about before we get out of here. Let's talk about the newly NPDs. The NPDs that people wanted to do. People wanted to laugh, right? You know what they wanted to laugh about?
Oh God!
And do you want to know why they didn't want to laugh? All right, the NPDs was such a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah, I got the article.
Yeah,
if you want me to read it?
Mad Fat Frog, will you do the honors, please?
Oh my God, he gonna make him read it. He gonna make him read it.
Make it rain.
I have no problem reading it because it's a very interesting article.
It is.
So the NPDs, number one was Far Cry.
No. Don't start there. No. Start from the consoles. Read the go ahead and read that PlayStation did this thing when I want the feeling. I want the
PlayStation, of course, we all know PlayStation, was the best selling console, then it was the Switch, then it was the Xbox. But as far as game sales, and you're looking into game sales, Far Cry 5 was number one, and then Xbox's console exclusive Sea of Thieves was actually number two, followed by MLB The Show, which looks very good.
Okay, we didn't ask about that. We asked about the list.
What I'm saying is these games are looking very good as far as sales. Kirby Stars Ally was number 4. Grand Theft Auto once again was number 5.
Wow.
Call of Duty World War II was number 6. Mario Kart 8 was number 7. Ni no Kuni number 8. 2K18 number 9. Monster Hunter number 10. Then Mario Odyssey was after that, with Breath of the Wild after that, and then Players Unknown Battleground was number 13.
Xbox version.
So basically, Xbox is this is what it said. As far as this is talk about Sea of Thieves. Now you want to get to it. Sea of Thieves is the fastest selling rare game ever tracked since NPD has started tracking games.
Don't say it quick. Don't say it fast though.
Wait. Whoa.
Can you repeat that slowly, sir?
Let them hear it way in the back.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say it, but I'm gonna read. Sea of Thieves is the fastest selling game ever tracked since the industry tracking firm NPD has started tracking games, which started in 1995.
Say what?
Right. So that time frame would include rare classics like N64's GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, which Microsoft acquired in 2002. It would also include Viva Pinata. So Sea of Thieves, however, it's a breakout hit. But you got to look at the time frame.
We don't give a fuck about.
Wait. There's one thing that wasn't covered though.
Wait, I got more good stuff. There's more good stuff. Sea of Thieves' position on this list, it only includes people who purchased it digitally and at retail. So the NPD didn't include anybody who downloaded it part of the Game Pass, right? So this is people who basically downloaded it or they bought it at retail. In terms of dollar sales, Sea of Thieves is number 8 game in 2018 so far. So this actually makes it This actually makes it the highest platform exclusive on the list.
What?
Although, yeah, this is what it says. Although Players Unknown Battlegrounds number 7, and it's included only on Xbox right now at this point. But that will change, and this is what the report says. This is exactly what it says. That will change in April because of God of War Blockbuster.
We ain't talking about April. We talking about March.
So
wait.
I have a great.
So for 2018, Xbox has 2 games that are exclusive to the console right now.
That's only being reported on NPD. And let me pay this bill and destroy him.
Facts.
Oh, Bless Red gonna get that work.
Hey, Bless Red. You said Sea of Thieves is non-exclusive, and MLB was on sale for 4 days. Don't flip the narrative, Smooth. SOT was out the entire month. Hey, you fucking liar! No, let me destroy this man right now.
I can give you $5
He gonna get that work. Sea of Thieves came out March 20th, which means it had 11 days on the market to go on sale, right?
So
Kirby,
so basically 2 weeks.
Switch exclusive came out a week before that, which had even longer, right? But now you want to talk about MLB only being available 4 days? Well, what about Far Cry 5, nigga? Huh?
Oh my God!
hey, you didn't even mention it beat Nino Kuni too.
That by the time it's MLB the show. I don't want to hear the excuse of 4 days. 4 days. No, you can still do it. There's plenty of games that came out that can destroy a whole year's sale in one day. So you're telling me, because it was only 4 days, MLB, that's not fair. But then you want to ignore that Far Cry 5 was the number 1 selling game, and it came out the same day as MLB. All right.
I think Sea of Thieves.
And what about Nino Kuni, right?
Nino Kuni.
That's there in the chat too. Nino Kuni 2 is also on PC.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I think Sea of Thieves is really positioned in a really good position. Being close to the end of the month, I think that was the perfect. Yeah, we can hear you.
Did you guys ignore everything I was saying when I was going off?
No, you can hear us. We're
all right. Did anybody want to co-sign anything I said?
No, we were co-signing as you were
saying.
I
was co-signing. I said that Sea of Thieves was positioned at the perfect time at the end, like close to 2 weeks at the end of the month. The only thing this article says is they don't actually give sales numbers. They talk about player engagement, but they don't tell what the sales numbers. So
ask yourself this: how much did Far Cry sell, and how much did MLB sell, or how much did Kirby sell? How much did Nino Kuni sell? How much did A Way Out sell? These were all numbers that
if you're factoring that Far Cry was a multi-plat game, it's so big. So if
A Way Out was a multi-plat game as well.
Right, but what I'm saying, if you're factoring that, if you're just factoring in like it's Far Cry was still like the best selling on Xbox or PlayStation. So if I would have to say in the 2 weeks that Sea of Thieves came out, if I had to guess at sales, I would say maybe 300, 400,000, maybe. If I had to guess.
Bless Red, he thinks he's got me. He says Far Cry 5 is also multi-plat, sir. MLB is not L. Okay, you realize that,
and MLB is people gotta understand something about MLB. There's only one baseball game out there. Sony basically makes it. The thing is, like that game probably sold close to what. This is just me. I think it sold like 300-something thousand, maybe a couple 100,000 under Sea of Thieves. I mean, my only thing is the reason I think it sold so well is because it was positioned at the end of the month, which is really good for that. If this game had came out, I think earlier, closer to Far Cry or closer to God of War, it would have been bad. But the way it was positioned, what I'm saying is the way it was positioned, it was good as far as an exclusive. Like this is a great thing, but as far as an exclusive, do you think? And this my question back to you, Smooth, once again. With this being a console exclusive, with this game selling, even the Metacritic score being, let's just say we don't know what it sold, but let's just say we give it 500,000, right, within 2 weeks.
Yep.
Do you think that when No Man's Skies come out, it will be this game that will sell like up there with the Sea of Thieves because it's now on Xbox? It's
No Man's Sky is not going to sell shit on Xbox. It won't.
I said this on Twitter with the Sea of Thieves is number 2. I think that it shows that Microsoft's marketing, when it's put behind something, it will sell. And Microsoft really marketed this game well, and there was a lot of hype to it. But unfortunately, it didn't deliver on the content. And
we're not talking about that, Jazz. We talked about that like 3 episodes.
Well, wait
ago.
a second. No. Well, I want to go to this because you sound like you're celebrating this. And
I'm not celebrating. Why be upset? Why is that a problem?
You're celebrating this. Should we be happy that Sea of Thieves is number 2 and that's what we got, a 68 Metacritic?
Last week,
because
why are we happy? Why are we happy?
I think the only reason we can be happy because they'll keep supporting the game. That's the only way I look at it.
Rare took a risk with Sea of Thieves, so now that it's successful, Microsoft's more inclined to let other studios take risks.
I would say yes and no to that. And the reason, you know why I say yes and no to that?
By not putting the rest of the Kraken in the body?
I'm saying Sony takes more risk with their games than Microsoft does. So.
Yeah, but the other thing is like the wording. The wording and narrative with some of these things is kind of bullshit. I'm just gonna call it like you're saying it's the best selling rare. You're saying it's the best selling rare IP since, and I'm like, when's the last rare IP came out? Stop. Like, listen, give me a break. Like we're twisting words. And
talking about like, we're not twisting words, but the thing is, who's twisting those words? Hey, guess what? Those weren't Microsoft words though.
But it's what I'm saying is like what I'm saying is the way the words are twisted. Come on, like this is real. Let's not start. Let's not start sucking each other's dicks. Let's be real here. Like
third party telling us
that. They're saying it's the best selling rare. When was the last rare IP that you can name that came out on the Xbox platform?
That came out on the Xbox. Rare Replay, Perfect Dark Zero, Cameo Elements of Power, Viva Connect Sports, Connect Avengers, Connect itself. Like, come on, man, stop acting like this shit.
My whole thing is like they're saying it's the best selling.
Actually,
rare,
I think a high Metacritic scores than actually see these.
We're talking about the rare that used to be Nintendo that made stellar games that came to Xbox and this made good games at the beginning of the 360 era. And then they just said, we'll make avatars. I mean, why are we acting like? Here's the thing. I think this is good, but I think
we're talking about its success. I don't give a damn about the Metacritic score. I don't care about the content shit right now. We're talking about success. I'm talking. Reason why we're talking about the success is because
what do you think this game sold? Because they only talk about
how much is going to flop, how much nobody's playing it, how much nobody's buying it, how Microsoft is fixing the numbers, and all this other bullshit. People talked bad about Sea of Thieves, put hours and hours in podcasts, tweets, and content and videos on Sea of Thieves. People didn't shut up about Sea of Thieves until the God of War reviews come out. The God of War reviews come out, they jerk off to that, and then they're back talking shit about
this game.
God
of
War finally comes out, and they finally play it. And now
this game hands down.
They act like, oh well, we knew it would sell because it was hyping this Rare's first game. It still sucks. No.
This game hands down is a flop. Like
it's a flop.
Nobody's
Do you know what a flop is now?
It's a flop. Do you think this game is going to? Do you think this game is sold over 1 million?
Is Ni no Kuni 2 a flop?
I mean, Matt Pescatella said it's been the 8th most sold game this year so far.
Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question, right?
I mean, numbers don't lie, man.
But what numbers? That's the problem. They've only talked about engagement numbers. 2 million people.
All right.
Matt Pescatella. He's got it on his Twitter.
Nobody said this year so far. But you see what I'm saying?
It's called the game of flop. What determines a game of flop?
What I'm saying is, how many copies of this game do you think were sold?
How much the first 7 games sold that are the best-selling games of 2018? What did they sell this year?
We're talking about Sea of Thieves.
No, but for it to be the 8th, I need to know what those games sold because it's up there.
So I'm asking
the most games sold in 2018.
It's easy. Hey, it's real easy to figure out. Just go to number 7.
They have it.
Number 9. Go to number above it and number below it. It's got to be.
Selling 18. Sea of Thieves number 8. Oh,
I mean, look, the ones that are going to be ahead of it are probably Madden,
PUBG,
right? PUBG's number 7.
PUBG's number 7, and that's only the Xbox version. Just to give you a heads up.
That game is trash too. I don't understand. Like, look, this is the problem with this.
On PC, I can tell you, it's definitely not trash.
No, on PC, no. This is the problem. This is the biggest problem I had with this generation. It was so different than last generation. Last generation, the net narrative changed to this generation. And last generation, Xbox is on their mark. This generation, they have not been in their mark, and people constantly want to celebrate shit being put on the shingle and act like it's a great thing to eat shit.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I don't think. Wait a minute. I don't think The three. What do you mean by it was on his mark and it's not on his mark now? As far as marketing, as far as games.
No. Last generation, the 360 was the best console, hands down. To me,
what made it the best?
It was the best console. The everything that I wanted to do there, my friends, I wanted to multi-chat. Everything, the infrastructure they built was there. Sony didn't have what they had last generation.
Everybody on this panel, when's the last time you played Sea of Thieves?
Wait a minute. This is my opinion.
That's what I want to know.
Last time
I've never been
uninstalled
into these like that.
Uninstalled. A couple of weeks ago. Smooth, when did you
hold on, wait. I want to hear this. I want to know
when people last played this game.
Look, the fact that the game is not good, fine. The game is not good.
The game isn't good. But
I can't say it's a flop, though.
No, not according to the sales. You can't say it's a flop. I think the game is a flop. Yeah, not according to the sales, like what they showed.
Look, we think.
But I think it was the greatest trick that Microsoft ever played, and we'll see what it does next time.
The game is trash.
The game is trash. Exactly. It is a mediocre piece of shit. That's what it is.
Wait, what?
Because it's so pretty well.
What I'm saying is. A lot of people think that No Man's Sky, but No Man's Sky sold over 3 million copies. It sold 1.5 million within the first week. Do you think Sea of Thieves sold 1.5 million? I guarantee it didn't. Well, but here's the thing.
Guess what? It's number 8 behind PUBG, and PUBG is how much PUBG is on Xbox. How many sales on Xbox?
This is the difference. The game had problems. The PlayStation
5 million, and it's only below. Okay, all right.
What I'm saying is the game had problems. People came out and said the game had problems.
The reviewers said that had problems.
Yeah,
that's why I got.
Look, Hello Games went away. They didn't say anything, and Sony fans accepted that this game had a lot of problems. And did it get fixed? It did get fixed. My problem is, and this is the main problem I've been having with Microsoft this whole generation.
It's
basically been this whole generation with the narrative of
what narrative?
This is great. This is great because we hit NPD when Microsoft, when the Xbox hits number 2 in the NPD. Hey, we won something because Sony was in last place. Not forgetting the Switch was in first place. Well, it doesn't count because it's not in the same league. It's bullshit. Look, the thing is, worldwide sales is, to me, that's the only thing that really should matter. And I've said that
don't get the worldwide numbers like that. Why do you think everybody react to NPDs? Because everybody has access to them. It's made available to us. It comes out monthly. Otherwise, people would do videos every day on worldwide sales.
We already know the worldwide appeal of what these consoles do, and even like I said, to me, last generation, the 360 was the better console. Like I said, worldwide, was it feel like that? Hell no, it wasn't, because in certain territories, Microsoft couldn't even get a foot. The last generation was Microsoft's best generation.
Damn about those territories, man.
Look,
he don't care.
You talking about territories?
He don't care. This is
sticks and shit. No, I'm good.
Like at another game, because this is an excellent Sea of Thieves. Because I want the next thing coming out of Microsoft to be just like Sea of Thieves. I love it.
No, I want something better.
Crackdown's gonna be wonderful. The buildings are coming. The buildings are coming, guys. The buildings are coming.
I hope State of K2 gets the same treatment. That's all.
State of K2's not. That's the unfortunate thing.
That's the problem. Exactly.
It was a bullshit marketed thing, shooting people out of cannons and shit, and seeing State of K2. State of K2 not going to do.
No, what he's saying is the marketing behind Sea of Thieves is State of K is not going to get that marketing,
and that's the better game. It's
going to be a better game.
Well, once you call it
celebrate this piece of sea trash, and fucking State of the K2 is going to get fucking annihilated. Watch.
Yo, Frog, you got a question, a super chat question.
What's the question?
Why did you buy an X if there was no games? Because he thought first party games would eventually come.
Yeah, I was waiting for the good first party games. That's why I bought an X. I never said there weren't any games. We all know that Xbox and PlayStation have the same
State of K2 is the game.
As far as the exclusives, like Microsoft doesn't have, they don't have the saturation that Sony has. So when people say they don't have games, people need to stop acting stupid. When we all say when they have no games, everybody knows what that means. Everybody's trying to act like, oh well, no, they have the same game. We all know
at some point throughout this generation. Look, we've all been gaming for a while, right?
Right.
At some point in this generation, the quote unquote certain consoles don't have games. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the reason why I buy all the consoles day one. Because I know at some point, PlayStation isn't going to have what I want, but the Xbox will, or vice versa, or the Xbox will have what I want and the PlayStation won't. And that's how I approach the beginning of this generation, is because in the beginning I felt like Xbox was giving me what I wanted as far as big AAA titles, and
I agree.
PlayStation wasn't at that time. People can say all kind of shit about Resogun and all that kind of bullshit.
Flower.
That was
Critically acclaimed Flower. I see Kofi post a damn list where that had.
I mean, Resogun was a dope game, but Xbox had the games at the beginning of the generation exclusives.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
And so, and I know that we know that as veteran gamers, we know
You
that.
guys want to hear something funny?
Yeah, go ahead, Addict.
I think in the end, State of Decay is going to outsell Sea of Thieves 2-1.
No, it won't.
No, I don't think so, man. I wish
I
it
would
does.
love for it.
I just don't see the marketing push for it.
The marketing is going to hurt that game.
Well, Aaron Greenberg, do us a
It's
favor.
not going to be the marketing.
You think word of mouth?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth is going to sell that game like crazy.
I hope it does, because I think the game is going to be great. I hope it does.
Good. I played
Well, guess what? We got a job to do, fellas. We're playing at Xbox. We better be streaming that bitch.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I'm excited.
You know, none of these people will stream that shit.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yo, Rand said it. Wait a minute. Rand, here's Rand with the leaks. Rand with the leaks. He says, here's the sad thing. Sea of Thieves might be better than Crackdown 3. 2 ghosts.
That's pretty bad. That's not
Rand.
Really
Man. Stop getting me triggered, man. Stop getting me triggered.
Yo, if that's the case, bro, I'd rather them just cancel the game. Just cancel,
that's bad.
cancel that shit.
Bad. But Psycho, back to your point,
Yep.
What you were saying is like, because you asked the question, the reason I thought the 360 was better because of everything it did that Sony didn't do. The only thing that Sony did, the only reason I switched like in the generation and I switched to my PS3 is because I kept getting red rings and I didn't want a broken fucking console anymore. So I was like, every third-party game, seriously, I was like, every third-party game I want to play is on the PlayStation. I can just go play it over there. That's what made me switch in the middle of the generation. Was the red ring.
If anybody knew me last generation, they would have swore I was a Sony fanboy because I felt like the PS3 was the better. I am. But I felt like the PS3 was a better console. It had the Blu-ray player. The games were amazing. The exclusives were crazy. The only reason why I had my Xbox is because of all my friends had the Xbox, and also the Call of Duty, the marketing deals, and stuff like that. Like that's the reason why I had an Xbox. And so once this generation started, and Xbox was giving me those big exclusives, and the console was nice, and all that kind of shit. I'm like,
your bot is timing people out.
Are they saying it depends on what they're saying? Because I have it set up to be.
Someone literally just said ghost emoji and that night bot.
Wow. Ship in the chat, bro.
He literally just has 5 emojis. Ghost emoji.
Oh man!
How do I fix it? Like, go.
You tell. But
I agree with you, Psycho. It's like this generation is. I feel the same way. Like people, if you knew me, like 360 was my system of choice last generation. This generation, you know why I went to PlayStation? I stuck with them because the majority of my friends didn't get an Xbox One. I was the only one. They were like, I'm not buying a 500 piece of freaking crap with a camera. They didn't want the camera.
It doesn't work like that, Rand. You're a mod. He can't do you.
So, like, that's the thing. Like, a lot of my friends jumped
Smooth
ship.
Set it to damage control.
We can continue this conversation another time. Don't talk shit right now. Let him talk about the other shit right now. Fuck it.
I'm dead.
Everybody's getting bogged down with the ghosts.
Rand Outdoor Nightbot ain't got shit on me.
Look what you started, Rand.
Man, hey, Smooth, what the hell's up with the avocados? I keep seeing people get avocados in the chat.
Because Jack moved down and said my head's shaped like an avocado.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Lord.
That's kind of funny. But, at the end of the day, like, I own all
there goes Black.
I usually will own them. This generation, I'll tell you this, I won't buy another Xbox system. I'll keep my day one Xbox. I'll wait for next gen to see
But that's kind of stupid. What the Xbox you get rid of is the one that's like...
There's nothing to play on it. It's sitting and collecting dust.
There's nothing to play on it.
Are you really
making I'm saying for me, there's nothing exclusive I want to play on that system that I can not play on my Xbox, my regular day one Xbox. Like, I just feel like my investment, as far as me investing.
Hold on, Frog. Before Frog continues the same story he tells once a day, can we get 150 likes? We're like
150.
Yeah, come on,
man, please.
Come on, not gonna happen.
Give those likes up.
Avocados.
Give those likes up.
I forgot to like our video. There we go.
Yeah, please. Oh, that's a fine.
Hey, everybody hit that like button, man.
Hit that like bill. I just like it.
Watch out.
Hit the like button, the dislike, whatever.
That's it.
Watch out. He's gonna set it up to snipe those avocados if you keep that shit.
Oh my god. No, what I was saying, Smooth and Psycho is like, I play the majority of my games, and one place in most of where my friends are. So I don't really. This generation, do I really truly have a need for Xbox? I truly don't. But I love Halo. I think that's just my franchise. Whenever I see a Halo game, I get excited about it. I buy every Master Chief collection. Like, I'm just a huge Halo fan, so I know once another Halo game comes out, I'm like, holy crap. But I'm not buying another console this generation. I'll wait till next generation and see what they do. But if it continues on, I'll sit back and just wait, twiddle my thumbs until something comes along I want at a price. That's the thing, though, Frogs. Like, generations are over with. The ones that generations as we knew it. I agree. I agree, but what I'm saying is right now, it's like I'm so content playing on my PlayStation because it has everything I want to play and a big variety of things I never knew existed. Right. So I have like the best of both worlds because I'm able to do everything for the most part that I can do on the Xbox. So it's not. I don't really feel like it's taking anything away from me. Like that's the thing. Like I have this plethora of games that are not available anywhere else but there, and I think that's why I've kind of more aligned this generation with the PlayStation 4. Yeah.
But even though generations are over, they're still going to come out with new hardware, though.
Hardware, right? I don't want to hear that bullshit, Frog. I know exactly what's on that PS4. Okay, I know exactly.
You know what?
It's that NAC.
You know what?
I know why you're on PS4.
Most of the stuff you probably don't like.
I just don't understand.
Hold on. Let's go over this. What do I not like on PS4? I'm curious.
I'm saying most of the games because I hear a lot of people, they don't like the Yakuza. They don't like the
Time out. Gotta pay a bill. Gotta pay a bill.
Go ahead.
Pay the bill. Ravenflow. What big exclusive did Microsoft drop the first 2 years?
Not a damn big thing. Let's continue. What? Yakuza is
first 2 years of what?
What do you mean? First sales or for a big game?
Titanfall.
Titanfall was like within like the first 6 months.
Somebody asked me a question.
Dead Rising 4
gotta pay the bills.
Rise.
Dead Rising
Frog. Would you rather keep the S, the worst version?
Cycle.
I don't even have the. I don't even have the S.
He kept the 2013 version. Frog's a pony.
There's no reason for me to. There's no reason why keep a system when I can get $400 for it and play a system I know I'm going to invest in where I'm not invested in my Xbox. What's the point of me letting this?
That's right. Yakuza 6 is awesome.
Do it for the culture.
No, I already got an Xbox. I'm good. It'll sit there and collect dust on that old Xbox until something comes I want to play.
Cool.
I'm good.
It's not
collecting. State of Decay 2's coming. State of Decay 2's
save up for a PC.
That ain't nothing but just dead skin cells, right?
Exactly.
Just get the. We get PC. Save up.
Somebody said Xbox dudes didn't even support Titanfall. I bought Titanfall day one.
Nah, Titanfall. That was damn. We should have got that.
Actually, all I have to do is turn on literally my Xbox to show you all the first the games.
The only game I regret not buying day one, which is absolutely amazing, was Ori. I just recently bought it, and that game is amazing. I really regret not buying it. That game is absolutely amazing. I love.
You gotta play that game with headphones on.
No, yes, it's amazing. The game is amazing.
Everything,
but yeah,
visually, the sound design, everything, man.
You know what? I have to say, I'm glad a game that I didn't buy day one that I'm glad that I enjoyed because of the price I got it was Recore. I got.
The definitive?
It's actually a pretty good, fun game.
Oh.
I mean. It's whatever. Am I the only one here that beat it?
No, me too.
Yeah, it's not well optimized. That's what I'm gonna say.
I played it.
They actually did update it. It's pretty. It's all right. So,
but
the first 2 years, I want to answer this dude's question.
Sunset Overdrive.
Exclusives were Forza 5, Dead Rising 3, Rise of Rome, Killer Instinct, Titanfall, Connect Sports Rivals,
Smooth. It doesn't matter
Forza
because
Horizon
he gonna say all of them are bullshit. So.
Sunset Overdrive,
exactly.
Right.
In the Master Chief Collection. So there we go.
And people forget the Master Chief Collection was a big deal when it came out.
Oh yeah,
that's
huge
2 years.
Yeah.
That's actually a lot of decent to good games for 2 years.
Oh yeah, it was great, man.
Forza,
That's why
the Forza series is like the best racing game.
Had all what? They had nothing. They really didn't have a
You don't
lot.
remember when they showed Titanfall?
Titanfall, the hype
Lit.
behind Titanfall.
That was
man.
like hype back then.
That was the last console seller they had.
2017
day
was their only
one.
drought year. Really,
I bought Titanfall day one, and the rumor was it was coming to PlayStation. All my PlayStation fans like, you gonna buy it again? I was like, yeah, but I'm playing on the Xbox. It was like, man, you suck. I'm not buying an Xbox for that, and then it never came.
All right, you want to hear the 20? You know what was a really good year too? Was 2016.
The best lineup ever.
16 was the best. Like
The
seriously.
best lineup ever. It was the last lineup.
2016 had
the last lineup.
2016
That's why I said
had-
then we hit the 2017 drought.
2016
That was
had
the last lineup ever.
had Oxenfree, Quantum Break, The State of Decay remaster,
Gears.
Recore, Forza Horizon 3, Gears 4, Dead Rising 4. Oh man, it was
No, what was the year that they had the Halo 5, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Gears of War?
2015.
Yeah.
When they had Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Forza 6, Rise of the
I'd
Tomb Raider,
rather
Halo
play
5,
Tetris
Ori and the
before
Blind
Dead
Forest.
Rising.
I'd rather
was
play
the last.
Tetris before I play Dead Rising 4.
Damn.
You guys-
Oh, Dead Rising 4, that was.
You
Dead Rising 3 was good.
Your taste in games is questionable.
Dead Rising
Yeah,
4
Dead
was.
Rising 3.
3
I
was
just
better
stopped
than
when-
4.
Yeah,
4 was.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
everybody
that.
says that. Everybody says 3 is better than 4. That's why I said, okay, I won't mess with it.
I played the shit out of 3 and 4. 3 was my favorite due to timing when it came out.
Yeah.
My
But
favorite
I
was
did.
2.
I ain't gonna lie, I did enjoy 4. So
Yeah.
My
The first time I
favorite
seen
was
all
2.
those damn zombies on screen on 3, I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
I know,
That's what made
man.
me buy it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what made me
And it
buy
looked totally different than Dead Rising 2. Like, because
Yeah.
we got Dead Rising 2 off the
Yes.
record, and it was like, and then 3 came out, like, holy crap, it's open world. You can drive all over the place, like, in and out of the mall. Like,
Well, it didn't
really-
seem as gimmicky like like the other Dead Rises. Like they had
Right.
the gimmicky
Yes,
stuff in there.
it wasn't
I feel
but
like
it
it
was
was
a
animation
more
stuff,
serious
yeah.
tone.
Someone did ask a question. Out of all those games, what do you think had Game of the Year quality? I feel like, as much as I hate to say this, out of all those games, Sunset Overdrive was the
Sunset
only
Over-
one that
yeah.
could have took Game of the Year. It was
It's
just
a,
it came
it's a
out at a
decent
bad
game,
year.
yeah.
It
Game
came
of-
out at a bad time. That could have ever.
Wait, the launch lineup of the first 2 years, like what will be game of the
No, I
year?
would have said Titanfall.
I would say Titanfall 2. I would think Titanfall 1. Yeah.
Titanfall was just
Absolutely Titanfall.
Who I remember because that's before Titanfall came out before they had like preloading. So I remember
Matter of fact,
staying up.
didn't
waiting for
Titanfall
the
get
shit
Game
to
of the Year?
download. Nah, it was nominated. It might have been nominated. I remember.
I swore it got Game of the Year.
I remember staying up. I remember staying up because Xbox didn't have preloading at the time, so you had to wait till the game unlocked, then install it. And I remember staying up until like a hot minute,
Just to play it.
just to play. Played one match and I had to crash.
Yeah.
But man, Titanfall is what almost helped me create my
dropped the ball
YouTube.
when they let
If you
that
look
go.
at my YouTube videos back then, oh my god, man. Oh my god, Titanfall. It's the reason I had YouTube
they
channel.
really dropped the ball when they let that go multi-plat.
I know. Yeah.
Well, they didn't let it. It's just that
What you talking about?
Zim Powell
Titanfall?
even like was like, oh, he didn't remember the whole thing. He didn't know that EA.
Yeah, he
was
didn't.
like-
Yeah, the EA and what's the name went behind his back, Respawn's back, and they
I
did
just
that
don't know
deal
why they
because it was
scoop 'em
supposed to
up.
be multi-plat. It was supposed to be multi-plat. They had a 6 months exclusive deal, and then all of a sudden,
Greenberg came out and
Only on
said it's
Xbox.
That was a
indefinitely.
Don
I remember
Matrick
that.
deal.
yeah, oh yeah, we
Yeah.
know that. We know what that was.
yeah. Because
That's
Don
right,
Matrick was
Mr.
buying
Don
those
Matrick, Mr. Cutthroat.
Exactly.
That's the last time Microsoft was cutthroat, man.
Yep.
Well, I don't mind him being cutthroat. Competition is good.
All right, we gotta get going,
we
man. I gotta be
get
up
going
in the
though.
morning.
We gotta get going. All right, so
Literally.
what's so funny?
Hey, Smooth, you gotta
Yeah,
pay.
All right.
Bill.
Jamie Dixon said, "I still like you, Smooth, but stop talking about Connect Sports." Hey, Connect Sports was.
This is the
Trash.
same man that
Trash.
just got through playing the Disney game. Okay,
That's trash.
Hey,
Oh, Killer Instinct. Somebody wrote Ravenflow said Killer
Oh,
Instinct.
shoot.
shoot, that's right.
kid, how
That's
does
right,
it
Killer
feel?
Instinct.
How does it feel to know that you have a stream playing that Disney game and you were raging the whole stream?
Wait,
I didn't
wait,
rage. I
wait,
just had all
wait,
the
wait.
No,
Do
why
you
don't
really
you-
have the stream? I thought that was a joke.
You're supposed to just walk around the park. You had to. What were you stressing out about?
I wasn't
No,
stressed. I had
there's
a lot of
many games
questions.
to that game. Don't let this dude lie to you. He was raging.
I don't think I. If you watch the stream, I just had a lot of questions. I don't think I raged.
No, you were raging.
Had a lot of questions. We'll go to the front desk.
And it's a
The
game.
Disney
You know
park.
you're going to get that classic smooth rage.
Extra smooth.
Oh, just to give you guys some, give you guys an update. just a couple things coming on. Like, make sure you guys tune in with us on for E3. We will be doing a live reaction of Microsoft conference.
None of us losers are going to E3, so
we're not going this year. We also are doing the latest
Keyboard Warriors.
Shout out to my ILP brethren. They're going to E3 though. So
we got I think Inside Xbox will do a reaction to as well. This month, depending on I think there's going to be one in May. I will be live streaming a preview for Raging Justice either sometime tomorrow or Friday. And I got just to give you guys an early look at that game. Also, I will be on May 1st streaming on Guns of Icarus Alliance. That will be for PlayStation. I'll be a part of the launch event on May 1st. I'll be streaming from the Guns of Icarus Twitch channel and probably on my YouTube channel as well. So tune in for that. So if you guys are interested, I will also be giving away some Guns of Icarus codes there as well. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button. We appreciate all you guys who tuned in late. We're gonna get out with the outros first. When we say shout out to Metaphoric Gaming for joining us today, please say your parting words.
Hey, this is Metaphorical. You can catch me on Twitter or Xbox. I'll be streaming Defiant 2050. It's a closed beta this Friday. Check it out.
I thought that game died. Okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, I thought they canceled the show. I liked the show. It was cool.
No, they got a closed beta this weekend on Xbox.
Oh, snap. Okay.
So I think they're still getting out codes. They got like 1,000. So if you go and get a code, you can get them until they're gone. So go check it out.
Cool.
Damn, cool.
Appreciate everyone for coming by. It's been a great show. Definitely have a couple announcements. One, definitely tune in for ILP this Sunday. We do have a special guest coming. We're doing our E3 predictions this month as well. And, appreciate everyone for coming by and the guests. And I'm going to go ahead and end this stream with Fuck Jazz.
Damn.
Oh,
damn, Jazz.
Shots fired.
I don't know why. Guess because I'm right.
All right,
yo, what's
Jez.
up, everybody? This is Grinds My Gears. This is Jez7780. Follow me over on Twitter and over on YouTube. It's Jez7780 GMG. I put up a new video over there called Xbox Pizza. You should check it out. It's pretty interesting.
I gotta watch it. I thought the name was interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I just do a metaphor kind of a thing about just the businesses and stuff like that. So anyway, I'll do episodes probably once a week. I usually do them, and check me out over there. Thanks again. Great show, guys.
Merc 305. It's 305.
And fuck Gaming Addict.
Oh shit!
That was a clean one. That was in like high definition. Double
Stuck that one in.
Double shot fired.
My name to you is Lord Addict, okay?
No. Now you're gonna start seeing videos created back and forth.
Oh shit!
Oh god!
It's gonna be a gaming rap battle.
I can't be rapping like that, dude. I'm white.
There you go. Well, anyways, Merc 305, you know how to find me everywhere. Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Twitter, Merc 305. Everybody, thank you for coming out. Smash that like button.
All right, and Psycho Gamer.
Yo, shout out to the guests. Shout out to the chat. Psycho Gamer. Follow me on Twitter. And good show.
And the Frog. My bad, Frog. I almost forgot.
No, that's cool. Frogs Dope Gaming. You can follow me on Twitter, Frogs Dope Gaming. But on a serious note, I just want to let everybody know if you plan to be in Glendale, Arizona on the 28th, Xbox Addict's funeral will be held Saturday the 28th at 11 a.m. Rest Haven Cemetery. You can just look at Aaron Greenberg's tweet. He's going to be there. A couple of the people from the Xbox, the big Xbox guys are going to be there. If you're in that area, if you're from that area, Arizona, Glendale, please try to attend this man's funeral and honor him. Not only was he, a gamer, he was also a vet. I have a lot of respect for him as a retired vet. And so please, if you can be in that area and support this man and his family, please go out there and do it. Once again, check out Adam Greenberg's Adam Greenbeard's page if you want to get the address and information.
And plus, they also have a GoFundMe.
Yeah,
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, he also has a GoFundMe.
Support that. Did anyone have the link?
I can put the link.
I'll put the link in the description.
Okay,
yeah, put it in the description if you haven't. Put it in the comment section too if you have it right now.
If you got a couple extra dollars, man, I'm sure that'll help the family out, man.
Yeah. Rest in peace to Xbox Addict, aka Matt. Xbox.
Shout out to Xbox Addict.
I've ever seen.
I think you hit like 20,000 subscribers on Twitter.
20,000 followers, man.
That's great.
I'm trying my best to get him a shout out on Morning Express Robin Mead, because he does all the veterans and all that stuff. I really want him to shout him out. Just I have a lot of friends that I've seen get put on there, whether they passed or not, and as a veteran, it hits me hard just because me being a retired vet, it's just one of those things. I take it personal. So
man,
I have a lot of respect for him.
Cool.
Thanks for your service, man.
Oh, there's no problem, man. I get to do this now for a living. Let's talk about games. Shoot, after 20 years, man, I'm happy to just be alive to do this, man.
Hey, you earned it, bro. You earned it.
Yep.
Hey, thanks to everybody on the panel for having me, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out, man.
Thanks for coming out.
It was a good time, bro.
Smooth.
As always, Xbox is the best box, and I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. Thank you. We out of here. Peace.
Fuck yes.
Peace.
Damn.